Hey everybody, so I have an update to what the live that we did this morning. I'm not going to go into as much detail as I did this morning in the live that I did earlier. If you need more info, go to the live I did earlier or even the live I did last night, which is even in greater length. I'm going to stick very closely to my little script here, per se. Give me a moment. So I'm showing you this letter that's come in, okay? Now, I've had it confirmed to me in multiple different sectors that this thing looks legit. So, first off, I'm going to read the letter for anybody new that's going to find this video. I think it's important. Okay. January 5th, 2026. It says officers. Subject: Postal Service employees continue to provide essential services. It says here in background, which is part one, during large scale emergencies, epidemics, hurricanes, civil unrest, etc., states and localities may issue curfew orders or other directives restricting travel and other commercial and personal activities. Many of these orders will explicitly exempt providers of essential services, but some do not. Even if a state or local action does not contain such an exemption, the Postal Service's operations are governed by federal law. Therefore, we continue to fulfill our public service mission by accepting and delivering mail and packages in accordance with federal law. Although postal employees are essential workers that may be exempt from state and local directives, any decision by the Postal Service to continue operations during an emergency must ensure operations can be conducted in a manner that protects the safety of our employees and the public. The Postal Service will continue working closely with federal, state, and local authorities to ensure that we are safely carrying out our mission during emergencies. Now, I'll tell you right now, uh, uh, I don't even know what to say. Like it just blows my mind that this is where we're at again, right? And I got a lot to say that I just learned about this after I read this second part. Part two says employees and contractors should carry the essential services letter with them as they perform duties for the Postal Service and travel to and from work. Because state and local government restrictions do not apply to prevent Postal Service employees from reporting to and performing their work. All employees and contractors must be provided with a copy of the essential services letter attached to this memorandum. In an effort to assist employees who may be stopped and questioned by local law enforcement about their activities as a result of a state or local legal directive restricting commercial or personal activities. That's a lockdown. The Postal Service is providing employees with this letter explaining the essential nature of uh, postal service employees and contractors. This letter, in addition to the employees or contractors' postal identification badge, should resolve any questions raised by state or local law enforcement officials. It is critical that all employees and contractors carry their postal ID badge with them at all times. If encountered or stopped by state or local law enforcement officials enforcing travel restrictions, the postal employee or contractor should identify themselves as a Postal Service employee, show the official their postal issued ID badge, and provide a copy of the letter with this information to the official. The state or local official should allow employees and contractors to continue their travel or work. However, if the employees and contractors run into any issues, they should contact their supervisor or manager. Questions regarding this process should be elevated to your area or headquarters law office. So it's all about selective areas, okay? Doug A. Tolino, Washington, D.C. I want to confirm this here because someone was spouting some nonsense earlier, and I want to make sure I prove that this is real. Doug A. Tolino was appointed acting postmaster general and chief executive officer on March 24, 2025. Tolino has served as deputy postmaster general since May 2021. He continues to serve as Chief Human Resources Officer, the CHRO, a role he assumed in November 2020. Doug Tolino, right there, right there. He's still involved. People said he's not around anymore. That is hogwash. He is absolutely still involved with the United States Postal Service now. All right. I can't show you this, but I've been given permission to give you a little bit more info here, but I'm going to leave out the area. I had a subscriber contact me and say, "Dear brother Josh, my husband has worked for the USPS for almost 10 years. He was a carrier for 7 and last almost 3. He has worked at the main plant in so and so. doing so and so. Anyway, last night when he went to his shift, they gave him that letter to keep in his truck at all times. The last letter he got like that was during the COVID-19 lockdown in March 2020. She then contacted me again and she said, I apparently misheard my husband. He said the supervisor showed him the paper. And once they officially pass it out, he will receive his own copy to keep in his truck. He hasn't gotten the actual letter yet in his hands. All right. And I've been told that I'll be good to go to get a copy of this letter from them if, it all works out. Okay. Now, all right. I just talked to my postman. I'm actually personal friends with the postman that delivers mail to my house. We're very close friends. And his girlfriend is a postmaster. Okay. A postmaster. Now, he told me, all right, when I just talked to him, he said this looks absolutely 110% legit. He said this is exactly how they present letters, the heading, the United States Postal Service heading with the red line across the page. He said this looks absolutely legit, and I sent this to him, and he was showing people at work, and he said everybody's very stirred about it. Okay, very stirred about it. And now you need to understand something very important, okay? That not every area, when there's this whole idea of a lockdown coming, is going to start doing it all at once. Lockdowns are up to the state to decide, not the Fed to decide what's going to happen. This is just the feds telling them, their people, hey, this is brewing, okay? And so there's a specific state that has received this letter that I do know of the state, but I will not tell you the state. I have to protect the people that give me information. But what I will say is, it's a very populated state, okay? And so the higher ups in this location have shown their people this letter. This letter is proven to exist not once, but also my postman says this looks legit. This is how they hand out letters, all right? And so I'm being told that if there's any updates or anything that's issued in my area, that I will be contacted and all that stuff. So just giving you a heads up, I'm in line to get information, okay, as to what's going on. All right. But this looks like the real deal. All right. This looks like the real deal that, they're planning a lockdown. All right. Now, it's not up to the federal government. Yeah, see, people are always going to naysay. You know what I mean? And I don't have time for your naysaying. You can believe me or not believe me not, but people that are going to push disinformation out there, it's a picture of this that's been cropped down to be exact. You know what I mean? Of course, it's not going to be perfectly flat or anything like that. All right. And so, but what I've been told by an actual postman, all right, that gets these letters, okay, that this looks legit. He said that they don't receive this annually. When I did a Google search, just a regular Google search, okay, they said that this goes out annually. It does not. My postman has not seen this since the pandemic. Okay, he absolutely hasn't. He says this is not an annual thing that goes out. This is fresh and this is new. All right. So what I'm trying to do is to give people the facts. All right, and I've even shown you how Doug A. Tolino, who signed this letter, still works for the United States Postal Service in Washington, D.C. All right, Washington, D.C. is where this letter came from. All right. So my point is, all right, is that this looks legit. I'm being told from people in another state that their workers are being shown this letter by higher ups. And when it comes to be, they're going to get their own copy to have to show. I was even shown the postal ID badge that they're talking about, the postal issued ID badge. My postman showed us. He's like, this is the ID badge they're talking about in that letter. Everything seems to line up. All right. But there's a bunch of cronies out here trying to sow disinformation. I don't have time for disinformation. I have time for the facts. That's it. All right. I have read The Black Awakening. But my point is, and we're not talking about The Black Awakening right now. We're talking about this letter. So my point is, all right, is that they're telling us what they're going to do. I've already gone through and shown you all the documentation and the war game scenarios and how they want to put this out there. Okay. And so thank you for understanding. I appreciate it. Sorry, I was just commenting in the live chat here. But I've shown you how there's the SPARS pandemic scenario. I'm not going to get into it. You know what I mean? But I'll just show you the picture of it, the SPARS pandemic scenario, the fall of 2025 to 2028. And remember, they will have Agenda 2030 in place before 2030. So they're going to have everything that Agenda 2030 is supposed to be. They're saying in their own words before 2030. And so 2028 is before 2030. Okay. So my point is that there's all of this is lining up. And so I thought it was important to give you the updated information. But again, it is up to each state to declare a lockdown. All right. And I know which state, they're eyeballing already, one of them at least, but I think there's multiple. But this thing right here came out of Washington, D.C. Doug A. Tolino still works for the United States Postal Service. Be careful who you listen to out there and just believing, because some people don't, not some people, all of us, we don't want this to happen. We don't want to go through another lockdown. We don't want to go through another pandemic. And people are real fast, quick, and in a hurry to believe someone that's giving you information that makes it seem like it's not going to happen. All right. And so, I was just on the phone with my buddy Chris, very intelligent person, and he was actually on the phone with me on my headphones, listening to my postman talk to me. And he heard every word I said. And I don't know if you're listening, Chris, if you want to hop in the live chat and confirm that you heard what I'm telling to be the truth, but I'm giving it to you straight. And I've been nonstop looking into this thing, trying to make sure, confirm this and confirm that. But it seems everything is legit and that this is exactly what it says it is. So my point is, just please be cautious. Please be aware. Something's brewing right now. In the last, so Chris right here, this is my buddy Chris. He says present, and what I'm saying is valid. He heard everything because I had my headphones on. I use Bluetooth headphones when I'm on the phone, and I went out to talk to my postman to meet him out there because me and him are friends, and I even have his phone number. And actually, when I went out there, he was watching my new documentary on his cell phone in his truck, and I just thought that was awesome. But my buddy Chris says it's valid what I'm saying to you right now. So I appreciate that confirmation, Chris. But so this looks legit. Keep your eyes open, keep your heads on a swivel, because something's brewing right now. Something big is brewing. This is not an annual thing. This is not an everyday thing. This has been once before in March 2020, when they sent these out. Okay. And now they're sending them out again, but it's only to the higher ups. It seems that it's only the higher ups, or what you would call an officers. All right. It's only to the higher ups of the U.S. Postal Service they're sending it out, but it is federal. And so I'm wondering if there's any other federal employees across the board that are at the higher ups, at the higher echelon levels, are receiving things like this. I'm telling you, this is how they do it. This is the trickle of information. And he said, my postman said that the last time the pandemic happened, this is exactly how it started to brew last time with the information that came out of the U.S. Postal Service. So they didn't really tell them right off the bat. They held back for quite a while, and then all of a sudden, wham, you're 6 feet apart wearing a mask. Okay? Sorting mail in a back room. That's crazy to me. So just confirming to you even further. All right, if you want more information, go to the live that I just did earlier this morning, and also go to the live that I did last night. You will get more information about what's going on, and I go into greater detail what's happening. All right, I want you guys to be safe out there. All right, be cautious, stay close to Jesus, because time is short. May God bless you all. May he keep you. And please don't forget to go out and change this world in which you live.